into the number 10 spot at 4-2. You're right, the Huskies 6-1. George Brown's done a good job of moving their way up the rankings, starting the year in the 9th spot. They're now in the top 5, sitting at 5th. And for them, a big game against a team below them in the standings. And for the Lords, an opportunity to vault themselves into the top 7 of the OCAA men's volleyball division.
Just as we were talking there, George Brown getting a little bit of a groove going, and we got a call for 2 touches against Durham, unforced error. You can't give this team unforced errors to work with. You can't give them free points, Joey, because as they've proven so far in the year with the 6-1 record, they know how to take advantage and bury you quickly.
Yeah, they're certainly not afraid. They've only lost 3 games all year long. Excuse me, 6 games out of their 7 matches. Or sets. It says games on the stats, that's why I'm confused, but only a few sets lost for this Huskies team all year. It's going to be a big challenge for the Lords.
So the Lords are finding themselves in an early hole here. Had a big smash by Tyler Kraby, but unable to get the points out of it, as George Brown was able to get under it and get the Lords to put it out of bounds. But just as I say that, Jensen smashes it so hard it ramps straight down to the ground. Stump's got to be sore after that one, man.
It's just hilarious to watch Eric Jensen hit a volleyball. He jumps 5 feet in the air, just crushes this thing with everything he's got, and I feel they're going to be bruised in the morning. Eric Jensen punishing defenders.
Reigning OCAA Player of the Week, looking to get his Lords back in it. 6-3 for George Brown, as Dart Jackman, the standout for the Huskies, shows exactly why he is where he is in the standings, puts that one just inside the end line for an ace.
His 14th of the year, John, and Dart Jackman just very impressive. You look at his stats, leads the team with 87 kills, 13 blocks, 113 points on the season, and he's going to be the man to watch for the George Brown Huskies in this game.
Here comes Jensen with the serve here. See what he can do with his service. Dart tried to put that one into too tight a spot and put it long, unable to get the second ace in a row. And a massive spike by the libero, Richard Sorote. Wow. Wow, man. He got up and he put that one straight down.
This is a match involving 2 teams that like to finish points with a kill, and we've seen a bunch of them here early, John, and this is going to be a fun game if all this continues.
Just as we say that, a little bit of an error on the serve there by George Brown, turning it over. And we're going to get Lucas Pitchell serving it. And getting up nice and tall is Harrison Wood, and putting it down. Getting the Lords back in this one, down 8-6. Let's see if Pitchell can control the service here, and the Lords can claw back in this one.
It looked like a net violation there, but the official says the Huskies touched it first, and we're going to move on.
Pitchell gets it over the net. Big smash there by Ray Tentango. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I do apologize. But Eric Jensen, I'm getting ahead of myself with a huge smash there. Gets the Lords another point on the board, another kill for Jensen, proving why he is the Player of the Week for campus and for the entire OCAA.
I think you got Tentango pretty right there, Johnny. We were looking at it before. I think Tentango is the way to pronounce his name. We apologize to his family if we butcher it, but that's what we're going with, I think.
Oh! Whoa. I don't understand how the Lords weren't called for a lift on that one, but we'll take the points.
Harrison Wood will certainly take that, John, as it looked like he was going to go for the smash, but a little bit of a miscommunication on the set, and he just underhands it almost on a weird-looking play, but catches the Huskies off guard, and all of a sudden we're tied here at 8.
Pitchell's had a good service. This will be for the 4th point if they're able to get it. And a big block there by Wood. Gets up again, gets it into the hands of Jensen, And he's saying to himself, if I could have pulled my hands in, that would have went wide, or that would have went long.
Yeah, he's right at the back line. His hands are extended in the bump position. Just sometimes things come too fast, and the first instinct is to hit it. Eric Jensen shaking his head after that.
Set up there. Nice dig by George Brown, and unable to get it. Sorry, was Rory Langley. Puts it to the empty corner to George Brown. And that's something we've seen in the first game, exposing that back right corner.
Yeah, that's certainly a spot of emphasis for this Huskies team, both men's and women's. It's the service error there. But John, it's all about finding the open spots on the court and taking advantage of what the opposition is giving you. And right now, for the Lords, they seem to be giving up that back left corner of the court.
Luke Farfat has come in, the libero for the Durham Lords. Who has he checked in for? I missed that, but I'm sure.
He came in for, who was just serving? It was...
moving on.
So yeah, moving on. I'll get you.
Wood up with the big smash, but blocked by George Brown.
Pitchell it was.
Lucas Pitchell, that's it. A nice block there by Wood again. George Brown looks to get it over.
Nice block there.
Nice block by the Lords as Ray Tantango tried to get it past the front line of the Durham Lords, unable to do so, and the Lords crawl back in within a point of this one.
Gonna have to be a bit better than that to beat Harrison Wood at the net.
Spencer Edwards with the service there. Nice smash, but dug out by Farfad, and Eric Jensen again, the big man. Didn't look like Sorote wanted anything to do with that. It was too close to the ground.
I don't blame him at all. He's probably still burning from that first attempt way earlier in this game where he blocked a Jensen ball.
A huge block by Jensen gets the Lords their second lead, but the first since 2-1, and forces George Brown into the first timeout. Good bite back there by the Durham Lords, able to come back from an early deficit and take the lead in this one, Joey.
And I like the confidence by Coach George Matsuoka, who didn't call the early timeout when his team was down. He let his players fight through it, and they did an excellent job at fighting through adversity here early and getting themselves a lead. But Eric Jensen continues just be my favorite player to watch, and it's purely entertainment purposes. He just gets up so high and hits the ball so hard. I don't know if it comes through on the stream, Johnny, but here in person, it's just impressive.
Yeah, you got to get out here and watch this guy play. He is impressive. He looks like he's trying to get up and dunk one of these nets suspended high above the volleyball court right now.
He looks like Trey Lawson should be feeding him alley-oops from the three-point line.
I wonder where Funcho DeMeggi learned to jump. It was from Eric Jensen.
Apparently, as Eric Jensen, just a physically impressive human being. And at 6'5", he's been doing this game of volleyball a long time, and he certainly makes it look easy, and it's a lot of fun to watch him play.
We're getting ready here to come out of this timeout by George Brown. It'll be Durham Lords ball. Spencer Edwards with the service.
The Lords also coming off that two-game road trip in Ottawa, taking on Algonquin and Lacete, John. The women split it. The men's finished 1-0 as Algonquin. That match was rescheduled. Not quite sure what happened. But the Lords only playing one game on their road trip. And they're happy to be back home and tied up here at 12s.
Yeah, interesting that you get a game rescheduled, but I'm sure there was good reason there, as Farfad was unable to dig that one out. Here comes Jensen again, and expecting. Oh, they're saying he went around the bar, I believe. I don't know for sure. I'm going to have to buff up on my volleyball calls. We're going to have to get Eric up here to call a game with us one time.
That game that was postponed is going to be rescheduled. It's very interesting, John, looking at the OCAA website as Jensen sends that ball over. It's going to be rescheduled for Saturday the 27th in Algonquin, but it says we're tied at one set apiece, so I don't know if there was just a time restriction or what happened up at Algonquin. We'll certainly do our best to look into that before it's over.
Maybe at halftime we'll go down and talk to Coach Matsuoka and see what he says. As the Lords are able to get a point out of that one, We're getting a check out here by Farfad. Checking in is Tyler Kraby, I believe. Service there by Harrison Wood. Gets it over. George Brown has to get it over the net, and he does. Unable to get enough under it was Lucas Pitchell. Sorry, that's Pitchell coming in for the, that was Pitchell who the libero came out for. But now libero Luke Farfad will check in for Harrison Wood. I'm used to calling hockey, and all of these positions and everything is driving me nuts. I'm having to get my feet wet again and get my bearings for volleyball. The Lords will take their first time out here.
A little bit of hockey action over the weekend, Johnny? And
yeah.
You forget your roots already?
Yeah, a lot of hockey action, and just an interesting weekend. Hockey is my love. It is my first sport, but I will call whatever game they give me a mic to call. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, we're not complaining.
The Huskies here have found a way to get the Lords to make some unforced errors and have found a little bit of shoddy defense on the Lords side. Yeah, I think this timeout is just going to be Coach Matsuoka telling him to calm down, play your position, let's win this game. These guys are good, and that's why you can't be making these unforced errors, Joey.
Yeah, for sure, John, and I like the timeout here from Coach Matsuoka. They fall behind 3 points. He calls his first timeout of the game. We're even up at ones on the timeouts. It's just been a little bit of a run here for the Grizzlies, for the Huskies, excuse me. They found a way to get some back-to-back points, and I expect this to be a very close game. Respond here after that timeout.
Another big block there by Youssef and Ramsey of the George Brown Huskies, unable to get it over. The net was, sorry.
Pitchell, I believe.
Yes, it was Pitchell. I thought it was Wood for a second, but it's definitely Pitchell. There he goes up again. Nice dig there by the Huskies, but it's Durham's point as it goes under the net, Joey. Durham needs to put together a good service here, and it's in the hands of Rory Langley.
Yeah, that was off the hands of the Lord of the Week, Tyler Kraby. He made a nice play there, and the Huskies just weren't able to control it.
Huskies with the big smash there and tipped out of bounds off the hands of Luke Farfad, the libero for the Lords. And unable to retain service there was Durham, as here comes Dart again. Dart with the big smash there to the back of the court. Oh. And it goes returned over the net by the Lords, unable to set anything up, and smashed down by number 15, Ahmad Youssef.
Well, it's going to be a Lords ball here, John. It's not quite sure what happened, and I know neither are you, but somehow the Lords are going to get the ball back.
And
here.
The point.
And so a little bit of finger waving coming from the Lords side as Youssef was all over it, but somehow the Lords get the ball back and they'll take it.
And out of bounds on the return of the bump there on the strong service by Jensen, and it seems like he's putting power on it no matter what side of the court or where on the court he's hitting it, Joey.
It doesn't matter where Eric Jensen is. He's going to hit the ball hard every time.
Big Eric Jensen here, ready to serve the ball. Gets up nice and high, hits the back corner, and here comes Dart again, coming from the back. 2 touches is called by the official, and the Lords are within 1 point. And just like that, the service from big man Eric Jensen could bring the Lords back into it, Joey.
Yeah, Dad trying to tie things up here for the Lords, and whatever Coach said during that timeout certainly worked here as they've come out strong. Certainly doesn't help when you have Eric Jensen serving the way he is right now.
That's Ing trying to get the ball in, but he sends it long, and it's a tie game here. This is 3 straight points on Jensen's serve. Let's see what the Lords can do with this and maybe take the lead here and possibly put some pressure on George Brown for the set. Jensen serves the ball. Oh, and it gets into the net there. Unforced error. That'll give George Brown the ball back and the lead. Just tried to put too much on it and couldn't get it up high enough there, Joey.
Yeah, you know what? When you're serving the way Eric Jensen does, the same way we saw with Jackman for the Huskies, those high power serves, sometimes you just miss it, and the margin of error is just so small on those plays.
Dig there by Dart, and a nice block, combination block there by Kraby and by Wood, or sorry, Feliciano, not Wood, my apologies. Awesome job there by the Lords to get the ball back. And it's going to be, looks like resident gun show, Evan McMillan with the service here.
Feel like I need to go to the gym just watching him play sometimes.
Yeah, those muscles are too much though, as he sends the ball way long. And we're playing a little bit of back and forth service game here between the Lords and the Huskies.
That's too bad there for the Lords, as tied at 19s, going on a little bit of a run would have been huge. Now they got.
That's going to be it for McMillan as he checks out.
One and done, McMillan, and we've seen him wear the libero jersey, and we saw him struggle a little bit at that position last game here at home, and now the Lords must play strong defensively here, trying to get themselves back on serve.
Gamson with the serve. And a nifty little up and over there. And that was that Kraby with that one?
It was Kraby, Johnny.
That was Kraby with that neat little shot there. The Huskies expecting a big smash, and he seen that one coming and was able to just get it in front of the diving number 4, which was Tentango. Kraby with the serve, gets it over. Blocked there by the Lords by Wood. Wood gets up again, dug out there by Jensen. Set up, Kraby with the smash, but it goes long. And this is a close contest here. It's going back and forth.
Yeah, Kraby really wasn't in great position to make this play there, but did his best. Just got under it a little bit too much. The Huskies back on serve.
As Bogal serves the ball, gets it into the libero, set up there. Jensen with the, I was going to say the smash, but he was a lot softer on that one.
Had to be
nice
careful.
block by Wood. Set up by the Huskies, again blocked by Wood, but this time blocked again. It's going to be an interesting call. There's a net violation called against the Durham Lords.
Yeah, Langley's going to get it there. It looked like the right call from me up here. It looked like Langley was the first.
I thought he was over the net as well, on the other side.
Yeah, very well could have been. Definitely touched it. Easily could have been over, and all of a sudden,
it's a 22-20 game here, and the Lords need to be careful because this could be the set could be over in the blink of an eye. So what do you think Coach Matsuyaka has to say here to the Lords in this final timeout of the set for him?
Well, I think it's just got to be no unforced errors, really, John. You only got 3 points to work with. You got to keep yourself on the offensive, and giving away points on miss hits or bad serves cannot be the way to go here for the Lords. Just no unforced errors, and make this very good Huskies team beat you, and make them make the mistakes instead of making them yourselves and losing the set after doing such a good job at coming back and really putting themselves right in the thick of it here.
Yeah, I think the Lords need to work back to their strength game too. It seems like that the last little bit of that set, they were trying to be a too much finesse team because they had sent the ball long a little bit. But stick with what you know and what you're good at, man. Let's smash this ball right through the ground. As George Brown set to serve here, dug out by the libero, set up. And they're going to call a lift.
That's a tough play.
Waiting for the referee's call there.
Langley going to get the call.
23-20 for the Huskies. As Bogal set to serve again. He gets up. It's over the net. Again, right at the libero. Kraby with the light touch again. Farfad, another light touch there by Kraby, and they're moving away from their strength game more and more. Dug out. Farfad sets it up and smashed and blocked. And they're going to call 4 touches.
Yeah. I think that just hit the net. And it's a tough spot there for Kraby. He's in the backcourt, so he can't jump up and spike the ball, John. So that's why he's just kind of tapping it over the net. But
they can't go ahead that attack line, right? That red attack line. So can't really spike it from there.
And that's
just as I say that, Wood He tries to get up and smash that down, but it goes out of bounds, and we're going to get...
Well, that's disappointing, John. Sorry, I said...
that's the set. My apologies.
Yeah, that's the set.
I didn't look at the score. I thought it was a timeout.
We said... You asked me what I thought Coach was saying with a 22-20 lead for the Huskies at that timeout. I thought he was saying no unforced errors, and 3 in a row from the Lords, and all of a sudden they lose that set, and that's a tough way to start here at home, going down 1 set to nothing.
Yeah, they're going to look back at that, and they have to know that was something, or that was one they could have won, and that's one they got away from them. If they end up losing this one by 1 set, then that's going to be the one you have to look back on. And here's the Durham Lords giving out some new interesting swag here. A horrible toss there.
Swag.
They're giving out volleyballs, ladies and gentlemen. Heads up. The one hand Odell Beckham style catch.
That's what
and now let's hope we don't have any angry fans who decide to rail that into one of the George Brown players.
That's what you get when you show up for games here at the CRWC, Johnny. You get free stuff. Free swag. Come out, get yourself a hot dog, get yourself a noisemaker, maybe a volleyball, as that nice man gives the ball to a younger girl instead of keeping it for himself. The Movember stash looking strong.
Yeah, that would have probably just sat on a shelf or, somewhere in the bottom on the ground at his apartment.
Yeah.
That young lady there will make much better use of that, and remember getting that ball probably.
Maybe you get the team to sign it. Who knows what you're going to do with volleyballs here, but
come prepared with a Sharpie. Volleyball might be a little bit easier, eh?
Hey, people are going crazy here in the crowd. And just want to get back to the game for a second here, John. A real blown opportunity by the Lords, I think. The Huskies have only lost 6 sets all season long. 3 of those coming in their opening day loss to Georgian, the #1 ranked team in the province. And when you have a team when you're at home only down 22-20, you call a timeout, you certainly hope and expect a better effort, and they really struggled the last few points of that second half, and now they have to work back and try and get this #5 ranked Huskies team back on the defensive. And you talked about it in that first set, John. They looked like they got away from their strength, which we know for the Lords is just set it and spike it. Let Wood and Jensen do what they do best, which is hammer the ball. And I don't know if it was more the Lords unable to execute, or if it was the good play of the Huskies really taking away that option from the home side.
Yeah, I just think that they got in their own heads a little bit. They didn't want to telegraph their game too much and do the same offense over and over again and allow George Brown to block it. But you dug yourself a little bit of a hole in this one, losing that first set. You get down 2 sets in this to this sort of a team, and not that the Lords don't have bite back and don't have fight in them, but the confidence that flows through the veins of a team that's #5, 6-1, and has a maybe would have a 2-set lead. That's going to be hard to beat. So got to come back in this one and tie it up now.
Yeah, certainly do not want to fall behind 0-2 at home to a team ranked ahead of you in the standings. It just doesn't seem like a recipe for success.
As Bogal serves it over, and Kraby gets it in. First point goes to the Lords on the deflection. It's a good start, Joey.
Absolutely, John. And Tyler Kraby stepping in, the other Durham Lord of the week, along with Eric Jensen, who
Wood gets a lot on that one and causes George Brown into a scramble situation. And that one goes almost off of our score clock as it's 2-0 Durham. They're starting off strong in this one, and they're catching George Brown sleeping a little bit, I think. Harrison Wood with the service here. He's over directly right at the libero, and oh my! There's Eric Jansen again, gets it up, and the bench is reacting in style. We are not worthy, says #7 Taylor Michelson. gets up and smashes that down right in front of George Brown's front line's face.
And the girls volleyball team in the front row showing their support too. Cassie Nicholson-Clark giving a finger wag to the Huskies defense there. Eric Jensen. I know you talked about, John, you thought they got in their head and they they didn't want to telegraph, but there's nothing you can do to stop that from the hand of Eric Jensen.
Kraby just can't get enough on that, trying to go with the finesse game again. Bounces off the top of the net and right back at him for 4 touches. Yeah, I completely agree with you, and that's why I think they don't need to be worried about telegraphing.
No.
You know, they're just overthinking the situation. As Pitchell gets up and blocks it again, and it goes right at the referee. This is a tie game. Oh, how quick this game turns, Joey. It's
just a game of runs, John, and for the Huskies, they finished the set on a strong run back in the first, and the Lords unable to answer back. Now we're 3-3 here after a couple runs for both teams. Haven't been able to sustain any. Oh my goodness, he's at it again. No one wants to get in front of that bullet, man. It's just crazy. The ball makes a different noise coming off the hands of Eric Jensen.
Yeah, we have headphones on and we can hear it.
It's like a home run swing. It just sounds different. And Eric Jensen throwing everything he has into that. And wow, it's just nothing you can do as a defender. Perfectly placed, hit hard, going up so high, and really unstoppable there for the Lords.
Yeah, you know, I agree. And the thought, to finish my thought, you know, with the telegraphing, like that's why I said they got into their own heads, right? Because when you're as strong as Wood and Jensen, and I get that they can't be at the line every time, right? But when you're as strong as these two guys, then you can go ahead and go up to the net and block and smash and spike and get those kills, man. Because these guys, they don't want to get in flush underneath it or square to it. We've seen it a couple times where the ball went right up almost off of our clock because of the power coming into the Durham Lords. Just stick with that power game. The finesse game can be used in between, but don't use it too much.
Yeah, and sometimes the finesse, well, not sometimes, all the time the finesse game is much easier to defend if you're anticipating it. The finesse game, I feel like, only works when you have them anticipating the spike and then you throw the little lob ball in there and throw them off. But I think you're right.
Again with the big smash there. This time it was Lucas Pitchell, and they're getting back to what they know best. They're getting back to that power game. We've seen that all this first set. Or the second set, sorry.
Hit the ball hard. I feel like that's the key to success for the Lords.
Sent out of bounds there. It'll be another point for Durham, as we were waiting to see if there was going to be a deflection call against Durham, but no, that was sent out of bounds clean.
Like Croak, I think.
As Langley set to serve again, gets it into the libero, spiked and blocked by Pitchell. Another huge block there by the team of Pitchell and Kraby. Fantastic teamwork there, coming out with a 2-point lead now. Langley with the serve again. Let's see if the Lords can keep this up, Joey. Great dig there, but it's going to be a lift, actually, and not a dig by the George Brown Huskies. And we've gotten 4 straight points here on Langley's service. Langley gets it in again, and he is attacking their libero. They got to get it over. Dart gets it over.
Oh, they're going to call that as a throw or a two-touch. I thought they might have called a throw because it was a long volley.
Two-touch called on Lucas Farfad, or Luke Farfad, sorry.
But that's the type of run, sorry, John, that's the type of run you need to go up and take the lead and hold the lead in this game. A nice 4-serve run there from the Lords and Langley, and that's exactly what they need more of.
Another point there by Durham as they're able to get up tall, block that one twice. I almost felt like the dig hit the ground as well, but it wasn't called by the ref. So either way, the Lords end up with the point, and we got big Eric Jensen at the service.
He doesn't just spike the ball well, he also serves good too.
Gets it right to the back line. George Brown has to get it over.
Nice.
Dart does, but a massive block there by Lucas Pitchell, and unable to handle it was the George Brown Huskies as it deflects out of bounds. 9-5, the Lords have opened up a 4-point lead. And we're gonna get a timeout here by George Brown.
And Lucas Pitchell with a big show of emotion after that block, John. He really went up and got that ball as the defensive play for the Lords has really picked up here in this second set, and they've got the Huskies on their heels. I believe that's their second timeout here in this set, as the Lords have yet to use theirs, and just a real good opportunity coming into this game, John. The George Brown had 12 points in 7 games, good for second in the East, trailing only Georgian, who's undefeated, an 8-0 on the year. The Lords, 6 games played, 8 points, a 4-2 record coming into this, and they could find themselves all alone in third, right behind George Brown with a victory here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be important to take advantage of this this early run here by Durham. Having a 4-point advantage, you need to put some doubt in the mind of George Brown, make them overthink some of their decisions like the Lords were overthinking in the first set, and get back to even in sets here. Let's give them their 7th set loss of the year, eh? Or let the Lords, sorry, give them their 7th set loss of the year.
7th, 8th, 9th, anything they can do here.
We would love to see 9 set losses for them at the end of this one.
Certainly
as
would.
dug out there by number 7, Osesa.
The officials had a bit of a conversation there trying to decide if that was going to be a throw, but they don't call it. The Lords have doubled up the Grizzlies here. Not Grizzlies, Huskies.
It's the blue, I tell you. Jansen with the big serve, just getting under it, but out of bounds. That's that power game again. That's Osesa unable to get that one square. And Jansen, the team of Jansen and Langley at service has been fantastic for the Lords tonight, Joey.
And the Huskies, they're trying to figure Eric Jensen out here on serve, and he's been real strong, Johnny. Really not slowing down at all after taking OCAA Player of the Week honors.
Yeah, he wants to go for 2-time Player of the Week. Another huge block there by Pitchell. Goes up for another one, and they get it. It's a combo block there. That's Pitchell and Edwards coming together and saying, that's our point.
Yeah, Pitchell just in the middle of a great defensive effort. And I guess I was wrong when they said they called their second time out, but there it is right there as they call it, as Pitchell comes over, gets a big block there with Krabby, and then ball goes
Kraby,
goes across the court, goes the other way, and then teams up with Edwards on a huge double block, as Pitchell playing outstanding defensive volleyball here, and he's really been a key factor to this 7-point lead that the Lords have opened up here on the Huskies.
Yeah, you normally hear about Harrison Wood and Eric Jensen and them coming up to the line and making those big blocks. And you know what? Lucas Pitchell's adding his name into that conversation, especially in this game. He's stepping up big for the Lords.
Coming into the game, John, only 12 blocks on the season for Pitchell, but he's got himself 2 or 3 big ones here tonight. As the Lords trying to claw their way back into this match.
Yeah, I'm sure that stuff works like sacks too, right? So if you combine on a block, each of you gets a half one, and I don't know for sure, but...
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting point, Johnny. I'll look on the website, but on our little game sheet, they don't have half points for blocks.
No.
Nor do they on the OCAA website.
Maybe they just give them both a full block when they combine.
It's a good question, though. That's something to ask somebody.
Here comes Jensen again with this big smash service, and unable to get underneath it is Ray Tantango. Man, oh man, I do not envy these George Brown guys having to come up against this service of Eric Jensen.
Welcome to the Eric Jensen Show, folks.
Jensen looks to get some more points here for his team. Comes up with the big service again, attacks Tantango, and he pulls his hands back like to say, ouch. And a net violation here. It's going to be against the Lords. on Kraby.
Doesn't like that very much, but
lets the referee know how much he doesn't like it. And now we got the big man for George Brown coming up. It's Dart Jackson, or Jackman, not Jackson, sorry. Nice job there by Tyler Kraby. And he gets up to redeem himself on that net violation, spikes that one down and gets the kill.
Yeah, that was a bit of a cutesy play there by Jackman. He has such a powerful serve. We've seen it. It's very much like Eric Jensen, but that time he just lobbed it over and it backfired there as the Lords did a great job of defending it.
Great job there.
Edwards, I believe, who got
I didn't know if it was Edwards or if it was Wood, so I didn't want to give credit until I heard.
It was definitely Edwards over Wood. There's a bit of a, I don't know if the ref blocked you from your angle, Johnny, but
yeah, I couldn't really see it, to be honest with you.
You can tell the difference between Edwards and Wood.
Pitchell gets it over, tries to dig it out, unable to do so. As the Huskies get only their second point in the last, I'm going to say 4 or 5 minutes. The Lords have been able to keep them down 15-7 lead. Yusuf Jackman, unable to get that one anywhere close to high enough. That one hit the base of the net, Joey.
And all Jackman can do is laugh that off, as he knows he misplayed that ball immensely, and the Lords have a real opportunity here to open up a big lead.
Kraby with the service gets up high. Over the net, set up by George Brown. Blocked there, out of bounds off of Wood. 16-8, the Lords have doubled, or have a double the amount of George Brown at this point. And Ahmad Youssef with the service. Fake out by the Lords, smashed by Edwards. Dart gets up for the Huskies. Slowed down, set it up here, the Huskies do. And out of bounds, it'll be... We're going...
what way are we going here, fellas?
We're doing a little bit of a dance here.
Sure of what the heck just happened there. Officials pointed both directions. They're following each other, and eventually they settle on that ball does hitting the line, and the Huskies retain serve.
Huskies get it up, and the Lords just poke it over, trying to cause some chaos here as it deflects off of Jansen and out. And the Huskies have made a little bit of a comeback here. The Lords need to stem this off right now.
Yeah, 3 in a row here for the Huskies, as we saw a bit of a finesse play there by the Lords, and I would expect that to end very quickly, as it did not work out for them too much in the first set.
If it doesn't, you'll hear Coach call a timeout real fast.
I would certainly expect them to.
As Dart with the cute play there gets it up. Wood, but Jansen with the smash, and it goes off of George Brown into the stands. And that will stop the run there, just as I think Coach Matsuyaka was probably about to call a timeout.
Nothing cute about that. Eric Jensen continuing to punish that ball like it cheated on him, as he keeps pounding away here for the Lords.
Nice dig there by Farfad. Jensen has to get it over, he does. Even when this guy lightly taps it, it's so hard. Edwards set up here for Jensen with a big smash, dug out by the libero of George Brown. Set up again here for Jensen, and it's blocked. It hits the front of the net, and it'll be George Brown ball.
And that's the first mistake we've seen from Eric Jensen at the net all night long. And wouldn't at all be surprised if it's the last, the way he's been playing here tonight.
As Bogal gets it up, set up there by Wood, and Wood smashed that down to the feet of, I believe it was number 4, which would be Tantango again. Getting these names down for George Brown is tough. Set up there, and a nice smash down by Matt Kroc to give George Brown another point. It's 18-12. This is going a little bit back and forth here as Wood checks in for Farfad. Or Farfad checks in for Wood, sorry.
Kroc wasted no time on that. smashed it down for the Huskies, giving back serve.
Tentango with the serve, dug out by Farfad, set up there for Jensen. Huge smash and it lands inbounds.
And the head coach for the Huskies, Garrett May, not happy at all with his team defensively there. So that ball hits the ground right in front of him and in. Looking at his players like, someone's supposed to be there, boys. You got to figure it out. You can't let that guy have that much free space. That guy being Eric Jensen.
Farfad sets it up for Jensen again. A light touch over the net. And gets it back over again. As George Brown has to send it over, they do. And it lands inbounds to a spot where nobody was. Completely empty court there for Durham. Interesting.
That's a big miss there for the Lords, John. They had the Huskies running around. They had to get the ball over. They do in a bad spot, but nobody home for the Lords to receive that light little bump over, and that's a big waste of an opportunity there, I think, for Durham.
Game so on with the serve here, right to Farfad, gets set up. Jensen again, hard smash there, blocked, but in George Brown's side as they set it up here. Neat little touch there, dug out by Durham. Farfad sets it up for Jensen, who has to send it over. He does, it's high, almost off the net. Sent over by George Brown. Here we go, have a rally. Edwards with a neat little touch, trying to get George Brown off guard. Smashed there, set up by Farfad. And Kraby with the touch. It doesn't go though. This rally gets smashed there. And it's going to be called Durham as Dart Jackman sent that way too strong. 20-13 here for the Durham Lords. 5 points left until this set could be done. Up 7 on the number 5 ranked George Brown Huskies. And here comes Big Eric Jensen again with the serve. This man has to come with a lot of intimidation, eh?
Certainly, you got to be very aware of who's serving you the ball. If you're the George Brown Huskies right here, your forearm's got to be burning. The way
Interesting there by Jensen, Joey, as he goes soft on the serve.
Yeah, that's something similar we saw from Dart Jackman, Johnny. Two guys with big, powerful serves take a little bit off of it, and just like it did for Jackman and the Huskies, his last go-around.
Kraby smashes it into the front of the net. It bounces back for a George Brown point. It's now a 5-point game, 20-15. And Jackman set to serve the ball again. Dart gets up. Farfad gets it. Smashed over the net by Durham. Farfad sets it up as Pitchell puts it over. Or not Pitchell, sorry. Oh no, it was Pitchell. My bad. I'm getting Pitchell and Kraby mixed up. And just like that, it's a 4-point game now, 20-16. And Dart Jackman is making his service work for the Huskies. Set up there for Edwards. Edwards, it's blocked as he tried to smash it over the net. Set up by George Brown, and George Brown, Dart Jackman smashes it into the net. It goes out of bounds for a Durham point. This is not going to come easy for Durham, Joey. They're going to need to work for this set win.
No, certainly, John. The Huskies not rolling over, and I thought we could have been 1 point away from a Lord's timeout before this.
Pitchell with the serve there, almost goes long. And a big smash by Jensen. Dart Jackman sends Jensen flying backwards. Edwards smashes it wide. It's 21-17, 4-point game again. And it'll be George Brown ball. Yusuf Jackman with the serve. We got the Jackman twins here, I guess, with the service, eh? Jackman and Jackman.
Couple Jackmans, no waiting.
No Hugh Jackman, though. No Wolverine.
Yusuf and Dart. What a hell of a name, Dart Jackman. I love it.
Dart guy would be proud.
Hey, that guy found himself a career after being Dart guy. Gets a show on TSN Radio on the weekends. Having himself a good time.
He was at the Argos game.
I'm sure he didn't pay for those tickets either. Saw Leafs at home with the dart in his mouth. He is a bit of a Toronto legend.
Big smash there. Getting up was Harrison Wood, but they're going to call a violation against Durham. It'll be George Brown's point.
And their bench is woken up here, John. They're getting back into this game.
Jackman set to serve again. 3-point game. Durham in the lead. Farfad set up there for Edwards.
Nice.
Edwards just touches it over and it goes out of bounds off of George Brown. Point Durham. 3 points away from the set here. And Kraby is set to serve.
Now's the time for a run if you're the Lords, Johnny. They could certainly use it, as our boy Matthew's out of here for the night.
Yeah, they got to control this service. Smashed down hard there by Ahmad Youssef. And oh my goodness, Farfad ate that one.
And after being up by as much as 10 here in this set, John, the Huskies have clawed themselves back into just a 3-point deficit.
As there he is, there's Tyler Kraby getting that point back, bringing the Lords within 2 points of a set victory.
Coach looking at Youssef there, being like, that's got to be your ball, and he immediately comes out of the game for the libero.
Edwards with the serve, getting down there was Jackman. Big smash there by Youssef Jackman. And he's able to get the George Brown Huskies back within 3. It's 23-20. This is a close set here, just like the last set, Joey.
Yeah, this is fun, John.
Big smash there by Harrison Wood, putting the Lords within 1 point of handing the George Brown Huskies only their 7th set loss of the year. This will go a long way, this set victory, to adding to the confidence of the Durham Lords, and of course, making our night a little bit longer.
Certainly not going to complain about going long for a good volleyball game as Banga checks in here, John.
Banga with the serve, set up there, and there is Dart, and unable to control it there, as that will be the set victory for the Durham Lords. A great bounce back after losing a close one in the first set. We got 1 set apiece here in what looks like it's going to be an excellent match.
It certainly has been so far, John. And we have matching scores after 2 sets, 25-20 in both, this time in favor of the Lords. And something I noticed at the end there, Johnny, was just Harrison Wood. It was kind of the Eric Jensen show early. Not kind of, it really was the Eric Jensen show early. Spikes, serve, did it all. We didn't see a lot of Harrison Wood, but he shows up near the end of that second set with a big block and a big spike. And that's what the Lords are going to need to do, is get contributions from their 2 big men in Wood and Jensen.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, you add Lucas Pitchell into that mix, who's had some really good blocks.
Good game for Pitchell,
and he's played a very good game. But what needs to happen is control of service. You can hammer that point over and over and over again. And I mean, it's easy for us to say from up here, you know, we're not the ones down there playing the game, having to bounce back and having to control this game. So, you know, if the Lords can somehow get a control of service here and get a big lead, like they did early in that set, they were able to put George Brown back on their heels. They can do that again, it only spells out good things.
Yeah, but I think what's going to be very telling, John, is the way that the Huskies found a way to fight back into that set. They did a really good job at not letting the moment overwhelm them, not stressing too much about being down 10 points, 8 points, being doubled up. They just played their game and really forced the Lords to have a mistake-free finish, as the Huskies just prove why they're such a highly ranked team in the province. They have no quit, and I expect a strong bounce back set here from them, and the Lords are going to have to handle it.
Yeah, 100%. A little bit of bounce back or pushback from the Huskies, and it got a little bit tense there in the end of that set. You didn't know if it was going to be an overtime set or if the Lords were going to crumble a little bit. They were able to stand tall and get the set victory on a deflection out of bounds. Yeah, you're going to have to put them to sleep a little bit, I think. You're going to have to get them back on their heels here and build on that set victory. Hopefully they didn't get too much energy from that bounce back, did the George Brown Huskies. And we're just about ready to get underway here. 30 seconds till the third set. In a game that ended very quickly our first game ended very quickly here, Joey. So the second one is it needs to go extra long.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen here, John. This after 2, it has 5 sets written all over it. Haven't seen a 5-setter here at home for either of the Lords teams, at least for any of the games that I've been a part of, Johnny. And it should be a hard-fought set here. We know how good this Huskies team is. They came in and they won Durham's tournament in the preseason.
Adidas Cup champs.
And there's nothing more I'm sure this Lords team would love to get a little bit of redemption back here on their home court.
We're getting set here as it looks like Spencer Edwards is going to have the service for the Lords. Edwards serves the ball, gets it over, set up, smash, dug out by Farfad. Jensen gets up, looks to put a lot on it, but takes some off. And Dart smashes it, deflects it off of Harrison Wood. But they're going to call no, that is point 4. I get so confused by these celebrations in volleyball. I see one side celebrating, it's like, oh, they got the point, and then I look up the board, it's like, nope, they're just celebrating.
Yeah, they all come over to each other. It certainly makes it a little bit confusing on a quick play.
Jensen digs it out, and he goes to smash it, hits the net, and it bounces back. An early 2-0 lead for the George Brown Huskies. And the Lords are going to need a little bit of bounce back themselves here as Tentango serves it right to Jensen. Dugout there. And Kraby that is, tries to dig it out but doesn't get anything on it, doesn't get any height on it anyway. It just bounces out of bounds. It's 3-0 for the Huskies. Tentango looking to stretch this lead for his squad. Gets up, serves the ball, goes to Farfad, set up there for Jensen, smashes it directly at Sirote. But Yusuf Jackman gets up and says, I can do that too, and he smashes it right back in Jensen's direction, and it bounces right in front of him. It's 4-0 for the George Brown Huskies early in this one, Joey.
Yeah, and the Huskies, like I mentioned, John, they're coming out strong here in this second set, trying to find them something to prove. I don't know if this should be much of a surprise. They were the better team over the last 20 points of that second set, but they've really found a way to carry that over here into the third, as they, I'm sure, are not happy with losing their 7th set of the season.
No, and they showed it there with that big push to start this third set. As Harrison Wood has the service, Dart gets up to smash it, and that's going to be 4 touches as Kraby was unable to get it over the net. 5-1 for the Huskies, and Farfad checks in for Wood. Kroc with the serve. See what he does with this. Gets up right at Jansen, and Pitchell, the interesting attempt there, but Bogle gets up and he's smashing it, and it's looking like the George Brown Huskies are taking this game out of Durham's hands. It's 6-1 right now, and Durham looks a little bit lost.
Yeah, just a little slower on the hop are the Lords here, John, as Jensen's in, but Wood's out, and Pitchell wasn't happy at all with himself after that last play, and Langley there can't get up to make the
We're going to
block.
have a timeout here.
Yeah, that's not surprising. It might be a little late, John. It easily could have called the timeout when it was 5-1, 4-1. We saw in the women's game earlier, Coach was not at all happy with how they started. Despite being tied, he called early timeouts, and Coach Matsia there calls the timeouts for the Lords as they got themselves a 6-point hole to dig out of. And that's certainly going to be an interesting spot.
We got a fan holding up a picture of...
I don't know what it is, but he's holding it up.
It's a picture.
Pitchell, I believe it looks Kraby.
Like Player of the Week. Right, Kraby?
Yeah, I believe it's Tyler Kraby, co-player of the week. or Lord of the Week with Eric Jensen.
Super fan
His
in the
boys
stands.
got the big 3x4 poster of him. It's a solid one. I assume if you check out the Lord Snapchat story, our girl Danielle got a picture of that for you on Instagram story, not Snapchat, excuse me. Also, you can see our ugly mugs up there on the Snapchat or Instagram story if you go check it out. Durham Lords on Instagram.
Yeah, there's a reason they don't put a camera on us.
No, sir.
As George Brown serves it, and they're attacking Jensen with this serve, man. Every single serve has gone at Eric Jensen.
So nice play there by Edwards to get it over.
As Dart smashes it, Farfad sets it up. The Lords get it over, but it was a little bit of confusion there. Block, Jansen gets a lot on it, but not everything. Pitchell with the big smash. And they're going to call a net violation against the George Brown Huskies. The coach doesn't like that too much. Coach Garrett May of the George Brown Huskies. And Dart Jackman, who gives a little bit of lip to the ref. And if this was a basketball game, I bet you he would have gotten a technical for throwing the ball. Lord served the ball directly to the libero, and Dart tries to play a little cheeky there, but Jensen gets up nice and tall and blocks it right back down for a Lord's point. Langley has been good on service so far tonight, and he's at it again. Goes right at Dart Jackman, and Dart tries to make a play long court. Langley sets it up for Jensen, and Jensen smashes that one. It goes off of Sorote and goes way out of bounds. It's 7-4, and Langley is trying to put together a run here for the Durham Lords with his service. Langley gets up here, right at the libero. Set up for Dart. Dart with a big smash. Jansen saves it. And that is going to be 4 touches there. As a little bit of confusion on the George Brown side, and I'm thinking that net violation may have gotten a little bit of too much fire in the belly of Dart Jackman as he's losing his cool a little bit. Langley with his first error on service as he sends that one just long. And Dart Jackman is going to be serving the ball here. Let's see what he does with this.
Yeah, certainly a good run there by Langley and the Lords. All of a sudden just down by 3. And Langley calls off Jensen there, John. And that's an excellent call by the defender to allow that ball to go out of bounds.
Yeah, that was good. He got a little bit of a grill job there from Jensen. Did Dart Jackman. He looked straight at him. Give him a little bit of a stink face, I think. And Jensen's set to serve the ball here. Let's see what he does with it.
I don't think Eric Jensen's scared of anybody, bud.
As Farfad digs it out, Pitchell with the smash over. And 2 touches there. As no one was able to get to it. It'll be George Brown ball, 9-6. And Yusuf Jackman with the service.
And if you look at Huskies head coach Garrett May and think, man, that guy looks a little young to be a head coach, it's because he is. He's 25, but an excellent volleyball career himself. Played for Team Canada. He's from my neck of the woods, a Scarborough, Ontario boy. Played his high school ball at Birchmount. Went to Western. He was on the Beach men's senior team for Canada. He won, and he has the best international finish he ever had. He finished first in beach volleyball, made about $6 grand in that tournament. So he may be young, but he certainly knows what he's doing, does the head coach of the Huskies, Garrett May. And he's done an excellent job with this program, really turning it around after a season a year ago where they were not the best team, as they went 10-8 last year, losing both games to the Lords.
Edwards there with a good play to get a point back for the Lords, and we had Pitchell with the service. Sent it long there, did the George Brown Huskies. And the Lords are back within 2 as Pitchell set to serve again. Pitchell serves the ball, goes long though and gives it right back to the Huskies. Getting back to head coach May, I thought we were going to say, you'd look at him and think, is this guy a model? You see his his picture, and quite interesting. And yeah, he does look quite young, seeing as he's 5 years younger than me.
Yeah, 92 birthday for Coach Garrett May. I like him even more now that I know he's from Scarborough, Ontario, like yours truly. Just looking at his international record, it's pretty good. He finished first twice in a couple games for Canada, a couple big tournament wins. He was a good player for them. Interesting to see that he's a coach now. Maybe injuries derailed, not quite sure. We'll do more work on it. But Garrett May, an up-and-coming coach in the OCAA for sure, and we saw that.
Unable to dig that. And Youssef with the serve here right at Farfad. Goes off the net. Wood had to get it over, and he did. Set up there. A big smash, unable to be dug out there by Rory Langley. We're going to get a timeout called here by head coach Matsuyaka. 14-8. And this Huskies team has gone on a bit of a run here, Joey. The Lords need to stem the tide. They need to be able to get some points on the board and control their service. Yeah,
it's too bad for the Lords, John, because after that run on serve by Langley, it looks like they had put themselves in position to get right back in this ball game. And then just like that, they're down by 6 here as the Huskies, as you mentioned, put themselves on a good run and have really stopped the Lords right in their tracks.
Yeah, they've completely neutralized Eric Jensen. And I think by serving directly at him. As we have just under 10 seconds left remaining in this timeout. Lords have to come out of this one with a lot of fire. They've got to come out of this one with some fight back, Joey.
Well, they certainly do. You knew the Huskies weren't going to make it easy for them after you could tell they were frustrated with how they played in that second set. And they've come out flying here in this third one, but for the Lords, they have to find a way to find the form that they found in the second set, and I think that's going to start and end with Eric Jensen and Harrison Wood.
Oh, and a little bit strong by Farfad. And Jensen sends it just wide. The Lords need to be a little bit more careful with receiving that service and not sending it right back over the net so that they can set up a play and not play right into the hands of the Huskies. Ahmad Youssef serves the ball again. Farfad does a better job setting it up this time. Gets it to Edwards. Edwards with the nice little touch over the net. And the Lords will come away with a point there as it's 2 touches on the Huskies. Be Tyler Kraby with the serve. Let's see what they can do with this service here and see if they can get some points on the board.
Really need a run here, Johnny.
Kraby serves it. George Brown sets it up, and a big smash there, but it goes out of bounds, and that's a good start. You got to keep it going, though.
Yeah, nice. Again, Langley making a nice play, a nice judgment call at the line, not playing that ball and letting it fall out of bounds.
Kraby sends it over, set up again. Kraby sets it up for Wood, but no, Jansen takes it. Nice dig out there, but 2 touches called by the Lords, or on the Lords.
Yeah, and Langley there on the set, I guess he got,
his hands weren't even, yeah.
And
we see that often in volleyball on the volley sets. If your hands aren't directly even, the ref will call that 2-touch. As Norbu Sharif, I'm not even going to attempt that again. Number 10 with the serve, and unable to get it done there as the Lords come away with the points. A 5-point game. Spencer Edwards.
Nobu
Sharayev. Thank you for that lifeline you sent me.
I got you, buddy.
Edwards sets it up. Wood smashes it down, but it gets blocked, and it's inbounds. Blocked by number 4, Ray Tantango, as the Huskies open up a 6-point lead. 17-11. The Lords need to make a comeback here soon, or else they're going to find themselves down too many with too little to go.
Got to get back on serve, and that's a gift there given to them by Tatango. That was a very poor serve by number 4 for the Huskies.
Harrison Wood set to serve here. Let's see if they go with a little bit more of the power game.
Haven't seen Harrison Wood serve a lot here in this game, in this match, John.
And he does go with the power game, but he serves it well beyond the line and gives the service directly back to George Brown, Joey. The Lords can't be doing that.
Absolutely not. That was a mistake of pretty big proportions there, as your team's trying to come back and rally. Going out of bounds like that's certainly tough.
As Jansen with the big smash deflected out of bounds off of George Brown. Getting back to that power game by Big Eric Jansen, and now we've got the man Rory Langley coming up for the serve. He's been good all night from this spot. Let's see if he can get a little bit of a run going and get the Lords back in this game.
They certainly need him to.
Langley serves it directly to the libero. Set up there for Dart, but Dart sends it wide. And it will be Lords. The Lords will get the point there. Langley will retain his service. It's a 4-point game, 18-14 in the third set. Langley serves it right back at the libero, Sorote. Set up for Dart again, a little bit more finesse. Farfad set up for Jansen, and it's going to be
It's going to be a Husky point, Johnny.
Yeah, sorry, they just haven't put it up on the board yet. I was confused because I didn't see the call. I guess they did put it up on the board. I thought it was 18-15 already.
Yeah, I thought they had 18. I don't know.
Nice dig there by Jansen. Got to get it over though. As they do, Huskies smash it, but it lands inbounds. So now they'll have 19.
We got the streams right. We're at 20 on the stream, and now they're going to put it back as the Lords almost down there at our game day booth, Johnny, trying to give a bit of a home court advantage.
It's 20-14, not 20-15. And I thought there was something going on there. Yeah. Went on for a couple plays, but the referee's got it fixed. As Dart with the serve right at Farfad. Set up there for the big smash, and Pitchell's too much to handle for Ray Tantango. As the Lords now get 15, 20-15, we're back to a 5-point game, and Eric Jansen set to serve.
Tate checking in here for the Lords. He's going to come in for Edwards. We saw Tate riding the bike over on the sidelines for the last 5 minutes. Haven't seen a lot of Jason Tate, the Georgetown, Ontario native, in his first year. But he checks in here and
trying to get a spark as Coach Matsiak, I think. Jansen with the big high smash. They got to get it over, and they do. Set up here by Farfad. And if he had just let that go, I'm going to tell you right now, if Tantango lets that go, that's going long. The Lords will take it, though.
Yeah, it was tough to tell, but I'm pretty sure from up here I heard them say don't touch it, but sometimes the play just moves too fast, and Tatango can't resist it.
Jansen
get the ball back.
Set to serve the ball here. Nice and high again, but too much power, too much downward angle. He sends it right into the net. We're back to a 5-point game, and it's like 1 step forward and 2 steps back right now, Joey.
Yeah, they just can't seem to get anything going consistently, John, as they haven't really been able to hold serve since early in this set, where we saw Kraby do it. I believe. No, excuse me, it was Langley who had the good service early.
It's 22-16, 6-point game. And we're getting a substitution. Banga is coming in for Jensen.
I don't know how much I like that substitution, Johnny. As Banga's coming into the backcourt here, as I guess Eric Jensen needed a little bit of a water break.
He needs a breath and some water. Banga's coming in for maybe 1 service. Yusuf Jackman with the serve. Up and over. Dug out by Farfad. Set up here. And unable to do anything with that. was Jason Tate, and maybe that's why we don't see very much of him, as he mistimed that one pretty badly, Joey.
Yeah, all of a sudden you got Wood and Jensen sitting on the sidelines here as maybe Coach Matsuyama's decided to play for the fourth set and give his players a little bit of a break, as the Huskies seem to have taken over here in the third.
As they look to set the ball here, they got to get it over, and they do. Dug out there by Banga, set up by Pitchell, and Tate gets it over. Dug out again. The Lords somehow get that back over. Interesting call. Pushed
Nice.
Durham Lords point as the Huskies thought they had it. Hands up in the air, but unable to get that one, or not tipped by the Lords, as Pitchell now has the service. And I agree with you. I didn't want to say it, but I think Matsuyama may have given up on this this set here and is playing for the fourth.
But then we saw Tate and Banga make good plays on that rally, so you never know.
Nice dig there. Set up by Pitchell. Got to get it over, and he does. A big smash, and they're going to call that one in.
No, that's out.
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at the line judge. So it is out, as the Lords seem to be climbing back in this one, probably. And they're going to have to keep winning here because they're only 2 points away from losing this set.
Oh yeah, as soon as they lose serve here, it's going to be the Huskies serving for the set. So very important to go on a run
Pitchell
here.
gets it over. Dug out again by Durham. And Kraby gets it over the net. Set up here. Big smash. Get it over. And they do. Great job there by Pitchell. A nice block. George Brown. Dug out there by Pitchell. Set up for Tate. Blocked. Set up again here for Kraby. Kraby sends it over. And it'll be George Brown's point, and they are now serving for the set, 24-18. That was a good rally, though, Joey.
Yeah, that's too bad, Johnny, because that was an excellent rally for the Lords. We saw Banga almost go into the bleachers trying to keep that play alive, and he did. And a couple of good plays at the net by the Huskies. Good defense for them, and all of a sudden they find themselves 1 point away from going up 2-1 here on the road.
As that's Gamoson with the serve. Tate just gets it over the net, set up by Dart, and that's going with the line judge call here.
Ooh.
Durham Lords get the point. John Lodge calls that George Brown point, but
so does Joey Chapman, considering that ball hit the line. I don't know, man. We got a pretty good view of that line from up here, and
yeah,
that certainly looked like it was in. Gareth May, coach of the Huskies, agrees with us. But Lords still need to rally here. They caught the
nice little touch there by Tentango. Set up for Tate. Tate gets it over, sends it right to Yusuf Jackman. Blocked by the Lords. And they're trying to climb back in this one. Unfortunately, if you lose service, it's set over.
Yeah, but Kraby going to do his best here. I really like the fight the Lords are showing, John. They certainly aren't rolling over here, and they've done an excellent job finding their way back into this set.
As big man for the Durham Lords men's basketball team, Funcho DeMeggi has sauntered his way in to take in the final sets of this one. And the Lords come away with another point. They get back within 3, 24-21 for George Brown, and it's a timeout here taken by Coach May of the Huskies.
First time out the Huskies have had to take all set long, as they've led really from the very first point of the set. And a lead as much as 8 at one point, I believe, but Durham's done an excellent job being resilient, and maybe when we thought Coach Matsuyama was playing for the fourth, he knew something that we don't, because somehow his team's got their way back in here, and they're just 3 points away from tying it. The downside, they're also 1 point away from losing the set, and that's very easy to do. All it takes is one miss hit, one bad play.
You're walking a tightrope, aren't you?
You're leaving yourself no room for error. are the Lords right now, and Tyler Craby's got to be feeling the pressure a little bit here at home.
Craby serves the ball. It's over the net there. Lords have to get it over. Tate does, and it goes long. It will be set victory for the Huskies. 2-1 lead here. A short break in between sets. The Lords need to make sure they come out strong, Joey. They can't get down big in this fourth set here, and that's why I thought, or like you had said, we think that Coach Matsuzaka, sorry, I keep butchering that name, took Wood and took Jensen out, give him a little bit of a breather at the end of that set him up for a fourth set and a strong start.
Yeah, and that's 3 close sets in a row, John. 25-20, 25-20, 21-25. As these teams certainly not making it easy on each other, and would not shock me at all to get to a 5th set in this game for the first time in our broadcasting careers. But first things first, the Lords, as you mentioned, need to get off to a good start here in this set. They cannot afford to fall down 8-1 like they did in set number 3, or they're going to find themselves in a world of trouble and maybe, just maybe, in too big of a hole to dig out of.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to put yourself in that sort of situation where you're trying to get back points that you've lost. You want to take a lead and keep the lead, and put George Brown in that situation where they can think, oh well, we've already got the lead in the set, so we could lose this one and go to overtime, as we like to call it here on the Joey and John broadcast. Go to overtime in that 5th set and be able to take it away from Durham. So you want to lull them in that sort of false sense of security is what I'm trying to get at.
Speaking of Joey and John broadcasts, I know the Jake and John show is going through a little bit of turbulence right now on Riot Radio. What is the plan for the Jake and John show moving forward throughout the rest of the semester, Johnny?
At this point, it is undecided, but if it does come down off the air at Riot Radio due to complications with the strike and our schedules, we will be on YouTube twice a week, and I will make sure that we have the link out on this broadcast as soon as I have it.
For sure. Jake and John show, one of the best shows on Riot Radio. Be sad to see it go, especially before I get an opportunity to get on. Somehow my invitation's been lost in the mail these last 2 years.
I think we're on before you wake up, so I don't know.
You know, now that we're back at school, I wake up at a reasonable time these days. It's no longer am I waking up at noon, but also I'm no longer up till 5 a.m. Trying to get my sleep schedule.
No more last calls, eh?
No. We got work to do, Johnny, and school's falling apart on us, and no one quite knows what's happening inside or outside of the program. But
yeah, it's a really interesting time in colleges right now.
Interesting, stressful, annoying,
anxious.
Yeah. Yep.
Back to the volleyball game, something a little bit more lighthearted, something we can possibly take our minds off of everything else in the world. Like you said, like we had said, the Lords have to come out strong here, but they're going to have to do it with George Brown having service, as Bogel is set to serve the ball here for the Huskies. Jansen again being attacked with that serve, but get over was Yusef Jackman, and the Lords come away with the first point. Interesting, we've seen the Huskies attack Jansen with every single serve, or maybe not every single serve, but a majority of serves.
Hey, if that's the guy you want to pick on, Eric Jensen, I'm sure he doesn't mind. He may not be the best returner, but he's certainly capable and competent to do anything on the court for this Lords team.
Another great job there by the Lords, getting that deflection off of a Husky and out of bounds. Too hot for them to handle. Quick 2-0 lead. And it looks like the Lords were listening. They're starting off quick. And again, it is Yusef Jackman unable to make the play. 3-0 for Durham. Harrison Wood with the serve. Let's see if they can open up a big lead here. Wood gets it right at Jackman. Set up here. Deflected. Dug out by Durham. Poked over. Nice block there. And unable to recover is George Brown. Lucas Pitchell with the nice block. It's 4-0 for Durham. And holding service is key in this sport, and it's just what Harrison Wood is doing right now, Joey.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to figure out his serve in the first 3 sets, John, but a great start for him here in the 4th.
He set up here for Pitchell. Unable to get it over was Pitchell, or was blocked anyway. Back and lands inbounds. It'll be 1 point for the George Brown Huskies as Ray Tantango is set to serve the ball. Tantango gets up, and it gets over again right at Jansen. Unable to deal with it is Tantango. Jansen, a little bit of right back at you, bud.
Hey, every time, Eric Jensen. And we've seen Tantango be a little vulnerable on these hard attacks. He's probably not the best defensive player that the Huskies have. And Eric Jensen's certainly a tough guy to defend.
Langley sends that one over the net, but George Brown returns it long. And we get a quick timeout here called by Coach May of the Huskies. And it's a complete reversal of fortunes from the last set, Joey. The Lords have the 6-1 lead.
Yeah, it's almost the complete opposite, as an early timeout here called by the Huskies. And I really have enjoyed watching the women's team, who for the majority are sitting front row here, just giving it to the Huskies early in this set, calling for substitutions and timeouts, really trying to get in the head of the opponent. And really, and it's just kind of amusing to watch just how animated they're getting, trying to cheer on and support their Durham Lord colleagues, teammates.
Teammates.
I don't know if
they can't be really teammates, but
counterparts.
Colleagues, I would say.
Colleagues, counterparts.
Colleagues would probably be the best.
As it's a pretty good setup of girls here for the Lords. Look like Nicholson Clark, McBurney, I believe that's Raymond, and
a lot of the women coming out or sticking around for the second half. And we got a good presence here by the men's basketball team too. So
Sancho's here. I think I saw Trey Lawson earlier.
Huggins was here earlier.
I didn't see Dante, but or Dondre, but I believe you. It's tough to miss his hair.
Those guys are so tall, it's tough to miss them anywhere. As Pitchell misses that one, but does get something on it. Dart sends it over, set up by Langley, right to Jansen. Jansen gets it inbound, smashes it down. 7-2 for the Lords. As the Toronto Maple Leafs game just underway in Calgary.
No Yogs for the Flames, who's day to day. Just saw that. Speaking of the basketball team, Johnny, we're going to be back here tomorrow night. They take on Seneca in a doubleheader, men and women. Tip-off set for 6.
You're going to have to buy some Dr. Scholl's. This plywood kills my feet.
Yeah, this sucks, standing on this plywood up here at the Kate Burness Media Gondola. Kate, you work for TSN. Maybe you could get us, like, something better to stand on. Who knows?
How about a mat? I'll take a mat.
There's mats. Maybe we should set something up for tomorrow.
Blocked there, but out of bounds. As the Lords will take that point. And Pitchell set to have the serve here. 8-3 for Durham, and they're doing exactly what we said they needed to, being strong early in this set, putting George Brown in a false sense of security, having a 2-0 lead. George Brown's Yusuf Jackman putting everything he had into that one right at Eric Jansen. Has a little bit of swagger as he walks back to the service line as he is set to serve the ball.
But here, Johnny, the Huskies have found a way to cut this lead to 4 after their timeout. They seem to have picked up their game here in the 4th.
And the Lords with a unique style of offense there, a little bit of miscommunication.
Unique, that's a good word for it, buddy.
And they do get the point out of it. Yes, unique. We don't use the BAD word, we use unique.
That's a very, very liberal phrase there. It just wasn't the best play I've ever seen from this Lords team.
Kraby serves it, blocked there. by Harrison Wood. Huge block by Wood. 10-4 Durham. So they open up a 6-point lead here. Kraby looking to continue this service, and one thing the Lords have done is have been able to hold serve, Joey. It's not been one and done for them. Kraby gets up and over, attacks the libero. Another huge block there, but it's going out of bounds. It will be George Brown ball and point.
But those are the points you're not mad at if you're a head coach for giving up. Your players are going up trying to make a defensive play, and it just takes a bad bounce off their arm. You'll take that if you're the Lords every time.
Wood with a big smash, but it's blocked. Set up by Langley, again to Wood. Saved there by Youssef. And it's out of bounds. Great job there by Spencer Edwards, not touching that one, realizing he was going out.
Yeah, Farfard was right there.
I've been calling him Farfad all night, so it's okay. Fafard.
Fafard. I believe it's Fafard.
It's probably Fafard.
F-A-F-A-R-D? Fafard?
Yeah.
Luke Fafard. I'll call him Fafard.
Edwards with the service. Youssef gets it over. Nice block there. As George Brown is going to be called with a lift. And it's Durham ball, 12-5, a 7-point lead for Durham.
Can't step off the gas here though, John. You know how good this Huskies team can be and is.
Blink of an eye and they'll have come back, so keep stepping on the throat here. Edwards with the service, but it's long as Youssef Jackman is smart enough to let that one go. Put his hands up initially, but his teammates told him no and he listened.
Because I'm getting confirmation I am correct on the Luke Fafard pronunciation, Johnny. But
Bogle with the serve there. Jansen with the big smash, deflected off the hands of Matt Croak and out of bounds. 13-6 Durham. And I do apologize to Fafard.
That's all right, buddy.
For butchering his name all night.
Slowly but steady, we'll get all the names right here eventually on the broadcast. It may take us till the end of the season, but we'll get it done.
Harrison Wood gets it over. Dug out by Jansen, set up by Langley, and put over by Kraby. Blocked there, and it's inbounds. Blocked by Lucas Pitchell again, man. He's had quite the night up there.
And just like that, the Huskies forced to calling their timeout. And John, a
second timeout.
14-6 lead here for the Lords as they've come out flying in this set. And you're totally right, John. I think the biggest difference so far is just the ability of the Lords to hold and maintain serve in this set. And it's really given the Huskies fits as they're going to be out of timeouts here in 30 seconds.
LeBron James just got kicked out of the game for the first time in his career.
I saw that, and then Twitter told me he liked Odell Beckham Instagram post like 5 seconds after being ejected from the game.
Quickly onto that phone, eh?
Yeah, LBJ, not afraid. Wonder if he's got himself a dummy Twitter account like we saw Kevin Durant in the offseason.
Oh, they most definitely do.
Chirping the haters.
The Lords with an 8-point lead here, Joey. They can, if they can keep this up, this set, this will be going to a 5th and deciding set, which of course, as we call overtime, is only to 15 points.
Yeah, exactly. So this the 5th and final set, if we get that far. A very short yet exciting one, but the Lords cannot be thinking that far ahead, John. They have to be thinking 1 point at a time.
As Wood sends it too strong and long there.
And that's not the start that they're looking for, but still doubling up the Huskies. They have room for error now, John, which is nice because it's not as stressful, but it doesn't mean you're allowed to take your foot off the gas here.
Set up here by Langley. Kraby goes up, sends it long again.
2 in a row.
That's no good, that's no good. They need to tighten that up. As Jackman Ray Tantango with the serve here. George Brown looks to go on a little bit of a run. Right back at Jansen, set up by Langley. And another 2-touch called. As we're going to get a timeout here now by Coach Matsuyaka.
That's a good timeout there, I think. Like
Yeah, giving up 3 points there. 3 points quick out of their timeout. You got to get them back to the bench and reset.
Don't waste any time. Don't let this fester. Don't let it grow for the Huskies. Stop the momentum right now. Call your timeout. Regroup your troops. Maybe he's seen something. Maybe he knows what he wants to do. And for the Lords, they just have to keep up the pressure here. They cannot afford to lose this set and lose this game. At home, they have a real opportunity. They've pushed a top 5 team in the province. Every set they've been in, and if they could somehow find a way to win this game, that'll do wonders for them.
Coming back early out of the timeout is George Brown with a lot of energy, ready to go, ready to get this one started. And man, if you're the Lords, you don't want to see that. You want to kind of shut this energy down by them.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of talk and chants and claps from the Huskies bench all game long, and they come out here making lots of noise.
They're attacking Eric Jensen.
That's a tough tree to bark up, but right now it's working as Jensen made that one.
Blocked off of George Brown out of bounds. Oh.
No, that's going to be George Brown point. I thought the same thing originally, Johnny. I thought it might have hit a Husky, but referee says no, and Jensen just sent that one 5 feet long.
Again, right at Jensen. Langley sets it up for Kraby. Kraby tries to touch it over, and he gets it on the top of the net and it bounces back. This is now a 3-point game, Joey.
It's 4 in a row for George Brown here.
This is no good here.
5 in a row, sorry.
Tantango with the service right at Jansen. They know who they want to attack. Sent over by Langley. Langley sets it up. And it's out of bounds again.
6 in a row.
The Lords are losing it, Joey. They're losing this game. Well, they're starting to lose it anyway. They can't really proclaim it, but they need to. Mentally, they have to check back into this one. They tie this game. I'm Coach Matsuyaka. I call myself my last timeout.
I would call a timeout if they find a way to get this next point. But Jensen,
great job there by Jensen.
Do that, excuse me.
Stretches this back out to 3 points, and we're going to get the ever steady Rory Langley at the service line. And let's see if we can string something together here, or if they can string something together here.
Certainly need it here.
Langley gets the service in directly at their libero, sent over and inbounds there on a block off of the Lords. It was 16-12, extended to 4 points again.
And Pitchell just continuing his excellent game here.
Thank you for catching that. I didn't see who blocked that one.
Yeah, number 16, Pitchell got it. And he's just been so good at the net all night long. And again,
another great block there by Pitchell. George Brown able to recover. Unable to dig that one out was Edwards. A little bit too far back, playing the deep ball. 3-point game here, 16-13. Durham Lords lead, and it'll be a check-in here of Shrethik with the service.
As my Twitter feed blows up with Edmonton and Toronto tweets, or Calgary and Toronto tweets, excuse me, as this game's underway.
No goals yet, as I don't have any updates.
Yeah, I know. It's just I look down and all of a sudden it's like 5 updates, all from the Maple Leaf game. And a little bit of humor to Kristen Shilton. Yeah, you can never go wrong following Kristen Shilton. Give her a follow, get your Leaf updates, but watch the Durham Lords.
Oh, off of the face of Farfad. Hopefully he's okay there. I was just about to say how nice of a serve that was by Jensen, just getting it over the line. And Farfad ate that one, man, off the lower or upper chest and chin.
Yeah, that made an awfully loud smacking noise from up here, John. And if you didn't hear it on the stream, go back and rewind, turn the volume up, because that one's going to hurt in the morning.
Edwards with the nice smash there. Great block again by Pitchell. Pitchell and Kraby getting up together. I don't know who got that one, but a great tandem effort to block that one inbounds and get the point.
Pitchell's going to serve here, John, and he has an opportunity to get himself a gold star beside his name for this game, as he's just been excellent all game long for the Lords.
Pitchell gets it in. Dug out again by Pitchell, set up by Langley. And the Lords, Tyler Kraby gets it off of the George Brown player. Looks like it was Yusuf again, Yusuf Jackman for the point, 19-14, 5-point game for the Lords. Pitchell set to serve. This one's getting exciting, Joey. Pitchell gets up. And a miscue there between Yusuf Jackman and Ray Tantango. 20-14, 6-point lead for the Lords as Jackman backed right up into Tantango and the ball goes out of bounds.
And just excellent job by the Lords, John. They looked like they were sputtering along. You could have easily seen.
Pitchell goes right at Tantango again. Another unforced error there as he bumps it out of bounds. Horrible contact on that one by Tantango. And the Lords will take it 21-14, Joey. 7-point lead.
Yeah, it's just excellent work by the Lords, John. Like I was saying, you could have easily seen the Huskies coming back and winning this the way they were playing earlier in the set.
A great save there by Jansen as they got to get it over, and they do.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Unable to get that one as he dives for it. It lands, Pitchell dives for it, lands into the crowd. Wow, did Jansen not give up on that one all the way back to the wall. Looking like Kevin Pillar, getting that one back into play.
Yeah, good thing there was padding there on the wall, or could have been dangerous there for Jensen. And the Lords just continue to be resilient here and find themselves up by 6.
Edwards gets the ball over. Returned there, dug out by Langley, unable to control it though as George Brown collects another point. It's a 5-point contest. It's 21-16. The Lords need to make sure not to let George Brown back in this one. Need to close this out. Only 4 points out till we get into an overtime situation here, Joey. But like you said, you can't look too far into the future. You've got to go point by point. Fafard gets it over. Kraby sets it up. And another big smash there. And Jensen able to do nothing with that one other than kind of catch it with the palm of his hand. It's a 4-point game, 21-17. And Yusuf Jackman walking back to the line with a little bit of a strut. Throws that ball away.
The only thing I think giving Coach Matsuoka a little bit of relief here is knowing that he still has his timeout so he can pause the game and take the momentum away here from the Huskies a little bit, but I would not at all be surprised to see him call it if the Huskies get the next point or two.
I think it will be called if they get the next point. Big smash there by Harrison Wood. Unable to control that was Sirote, 22-17. And we've got Tyler Kraby with the service here. I'd like to see the Lords close this one out here, and I know everybody else in this building would like to see the Lords close this out here. At least everyone not here for George Brown. Unable to dig that one out was Eric Jensen. Back to a 3-point game here. No, 4-point game, sorry.
Quick math.
22-18.
And they seem to continue to want to pick on Eric Jensen, John. They looked like they got away from that a little bit, but they seem to be going right back at him here, and it'll be interesting to see what they do on serve if they go at him in the middle again, and they do. Oh.
And that's going to be another point given up on a bad play there. Just a little bit of miscommunication on the Lords side, and they've got to be able to get it together. 22-19, 3-point game. Service, George Brown. They keep going at Jensen. Fafard sets it up for Edwards. Edwards smashes it, gets it to Yusuf Jackman. Jackman gets blocked there. And it's a 2-point game here, 22-20. Just like all other games, and we have a timeout here by Coach Matsuoka. Just like all the other sets so far, this is a close one, Joey.
Yeah, would expect nothing less from these two teams. Another nail-biter of a set, 20-25, 25-20, 21-25. The finals in the first 3, and now we're at 22-20, John. And I'm almost a little surprised that it took coach this long to call the timeout. We both thought he might have done it a little earlier, but he waits till his team's in real trouble. Only their lead cut to 2 before calling it, and the Lords need to find a way to stop the bleeding and just get 3 points.
Yeah, they definitely need to come into this timeout much stronger. Much stronger. The George Brown Huskies on a little bit of a run here, and even when the run's been broken up, it was only a one and done by the Lords. As Joey is going to sign into his account here and try and watch a little bit of Leafs game with us.
No, never. I would never do that while we're broadcasting a volleyball game.
As Huskies inbounded, dug out there by Fafard, sent over by Edwards. The Huskies get it in and off of Eric Jensen, does Dart Jackman, and it's all of a sudden a 1-point game, and this one is falling apart right before our eyes, Joey.
And they keep picking on Jensen here. He's got to be aware of it. I would certainly assume this ball is going to go right to him in the middle of the court. It does, but it's way too long. And that's a big break there.
That is a huge break for the Lords, as they now find themselves 2 points away from a set victory.
On serve.
On serve with Spencer Edwards.
We haven't seen tons of Edwards serve. Sorry, John. We haven't seen him serve a lot, but very capable he is.
Right to Sorote. And just unable to execute on that one. Were the Lords at the net. It was Edwards and it was Langley. Just a miscommunication there. One thought it was going to be a 2-touch or a 4-touch, and he didn't get it over the net. Jansen attacked again on serve, but Harrison Wood, he gets up and he smashes that down. Lords have service. Woods to serve the ball, and it is set point for Durham.
Big opportunity here, Harrison Wood.
Gets it up, dug out there by Yusuf Jackman. Set up for Dart Jackman. Langley sets it up for Jansen. Jansen smashes it out. It goes out of bounds off of Sorote. We are going to a 5th and final set. We are going to overtime, Joey.
Gotta love a 5th set here as the Lords cap off a huge 4th set with an even bigger spike from Eric Jensen as he puts his mark on that set. After being picked on a little defensively, he's not too concerned when he can do things offensively like that. And it's going to be a battle here as the Lords try and upset the number 5 ranked Huskies here at home.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in this final set. It's going to be a quick one. Like you said, only 15 points. 1st to 15, must win by 2. The Lords can ill afford to get down in this one, but neither can the George Brown Huskies.
I think what's going to be key here, and this is going to be a very captain obvious statement, is just who starts better in this set, John. We've seen all game long the team that starts on the better run to begin the set has found a way to hang on to the lead and not give it up. And that's what both teams are going to try and do here, is jump out, take an early run on serve, and see if they can cruise their way to a 5th set victory. As we know, John, the rules in the 5th set is 1st to 15, must win by 2. It's going to be very quick, compact, and it just puts the importance that much more on every point.
Speaking of importance on points, trouble in paradise in Edmonton, 1-0 Arizona.
Again? Yeah, they are.
1-0 Arizona. Arizona is on a tear.
Sorry, guys.
Through teams that should be playoff contenders, the Senators, the Leafs. Notice how I didn't mention the Canadians and the Oilers. I mean, the Oilers are almost as bad as the Canadians at this point.
Yeah, certainly not the spot you want to be for just past the American Thanksgiving mark. Both teams have, or all those teams have struggled in the league, Johnny, and it's going to be real tough for any of those teams to claw their way back into a playoff spot. Biggest surprise out west, besides the Oilers, has to be the Vegas Golden Knights leading that the deadly Pacific Division. And
yeah, Vegas plays tonight against Dallas too, so that'll be interesting to see what happens there. The difference I find in Vegas, the reason why that they're such a great expansion team is they didn't get a bunch of chum. They got some really good players there in that draft, and they came in by themselves, so they had no one to compete with in that expansion draft. So they got some good guys. They have a smart GM. They have a great coach.
And a funny Twitter account is they just tweeted out the Pokemon theme song as they try and or I don't even know, get a good laugh, but it's pretty funny. The Golden Knights Twitter account.
Gotta catch them all.
Give it a follow. They're pretty good. Also, give the Durham Lords a follow on Twitter at Durham Lords. As we're seconds away here from this fifth set. Still 2 timeouts apiece here in the 5th set, John. That was my only question coming into it. I haven't seen a 5th set, but there's 4 minutes of timeouts on the clock. So
Dart Jackman with the cheeky little touch over the net, set up there by Langley. Langley sets Jansen up. Jansen smashes it. And George Brown sets up again. Nice huge block there by the Lords. Another block by the Lords. And it's going to be Lords' first point on the 2-touch by the George Brown Huskies. Lords will retain service. Spencer Edwards set to serve. Early 1-0 lead in overtime.
That's huge. Get on serve and find a way to continue punishing the Huskies here, John.
Get it over to Dart Jackman. A nice block there again. Combo block. This one was mostly Harrison Wood. And oh my goodness, 2-0 already for your Durham Lords. First to 15. Let's see if we can keep this. They can keep this going. Spencer Edwards with the ball, gets it over, set up there. Another block by Durham. They are blocking everything in this one. Dart Jackman sends it into the net. 3-0 Durham early in this overtime, and I wouldn't be surprised. And there it is, Coach May with the early timeout in overtime. 3-0 Durham. And oh my goodness, Joey, you talked about it. The most important thing about this is who starts off quick, and it's the Durham Lords who have been able to jump on top of George Brown and will maybe hand them their 2nd loss of the year.
Cannot start any better if you're a Lord supporter, a player on the team, John. This is exactly the type of beginning to this set you want to see. And being able to retain serve and force the Huskies to call their first time out, so critical, as they're already a 5th of the way to pulling off the upset here. And it's just a lot of fun to watch this game as these two teams fighting for every inch on the court.
Lots of noise coming out of that George Brown bench, but the Lords come out quiet and contained, not looking to get too hyped up. They're looking to control this game. And it speaks volumes. Spencer Edwards with the serve. Again there with a poor receival was the George Brown Huskies. Fafard. Oh, and a huge block there by George Brown on a Harrison Wood spike. And it bounced right back and hit his own guy in the head. Hope he's okay, rubbing the side of his head a little bit. That couldn't have felt too good. As Tentango with the serve there, set up by Langley. And a huge spike there, dug out by Tentango. Jackman sends it over, Tentango sets it up. And there he is. It's Tyler Kraby. He gets the spike off of George Brown player and hits the ground. 4-1 Durham. Service for Harrison Wood. Wood gets up, sends the ball over directly at Yusuf Jackman. Smashed and dug out. Spencer Edwards saves it. They got to get it over, and they do. Jensen gets it over, set up there. Another dig by Edwards, set up by Langley to Jensen with the smash and deflects out of bounds off of George Brown. It is 5-1 early in this overtime period, overtime set, I should say, of this men's volleyball game. 5th
and final. And Harrison Wood looks to continue to build on this. Wow.
Wood gets it done, and another huge smash there by Jensen, 6-1. for your Durham Lords, who have come alive in these final 2 sets of this game, Joey. It seems Coach Matsuzaka had something going by sitting Wood and Jensen late in that 3rd set.
Yeah, the coach has the magic formula apparently, as Eric Jensen goes up to the roof to hammer that ball down, and a 6-1 run here to start the 5th and final set. Can't draw it up any better if you're a Lord, and a lot of emotion coming from the women's team in front here, the team on the bench. Eric Jensen running around. These guys are feeling good right now and have a huge opportunity to upset this number 5 ranked George Brown Huskies team.
Yeah, Joey, and it will go a long way in the standings to beat a team that far ahead of you. And here comes, there is Rory Langley giving the I am not worthy bow to dad himself, Eric Jensen. As the Lords look to continue control of their service with Harrison Wood. He gets up and gets it over. Right to Youssef. Nice. Tipped down there by by Rory Langley. A nice little play there as the Lords open up a 6-point lead, 7-1.
Yeah, Langley not wasting any time there, just hammering that ball down. And it's kind of surprising the Huskies, it looked like there.
Oh, and Wood smashes into the net and gives a little bit of life back to the George Brown Huskies. The Durham Lords are just about halfway there to the victory tonight. See if they can get the service back. Dug out there by Fafard. Edwards sets it up for Kraby. Kraby smashes it right to Dart Jackman. Fafard digs that out, and they're going to call a lift on Eric Jensen.
Yeah. They continue to go at Jensen defensively, John, and he slips up a little bit there. His hand's just a bit too far apart trying to make that volley, and he can't get it. And I expect the Huskies to not give up and die here at all, John. They've been too good all night to roll over.
Jensen gets up and let it go as it goes long on the smash and the block off of George Brown. And it's 8-3, and we're going to switch sides.
As the Lords win the battle to 8 here. They're the reason we're switching sides. So they've just played an excellent half here, or set here. The women's teams
really getting into it.
They're both getting involved in this game here. There's a little bit of bad blood carrying over. Obviously, the girls team not as happy with their results. They fell to the Huskies, but the men trying to get some redemption here.
And Rory Langley with the serve here.
Oh, excuse me, sorry, the Lords won. My bad. I don't know why, for some reason in my head I thought that...
Yeah, straight sets.
Yeah, they won in straight. I don't know why I thought the Huskies won in my head. I'm a little bit confused, but yeah, the Lords won in straight sets. So trying to make it a perfect night here are the men.
Oh, and a little punch over there by George Brown to gain their service back, as it'll be Dart Jackman. Let's see if the Lords can get this service back here, and a little bit of sweat on the floor here.
These players, everybody feeling a little fatigued here. It's been a very close game all the way through. Every set's been a nail-biter, and these guys giving it all they have. 8-4, the Lords lead.
Dug out there by Fafard. Edwards sets it up for Pitchell, and Pitchell sends it over blocked, but recovered there by George Brown. Sent over, set up by Edwards to Jansen. Dug out there. Dart Jackman sends it over, but it is blocked again by Lucas Pitchell. Lucas Pitchell.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure I got that right.
Tyler Karabi right there too to make a nice play as a nice double block, and now Eric Jensen, a real big opportunity here, and he's got a monster of a serve.
Jensen gets up and smashes it directly at 10 Tango. Jansen bumps it up, set up there by Edward. Knocked out of bounds there. Durham Lord's point. Deflected out of bounds, I should say, off the hands of George Brown. And Roman Polak has scored for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Attaboy, Roman. That seems less exciting right now as Jensen.
Yes, getting back to Jensen's opportunity here as he deflects it off the top of the net and does get it over, set up there. And a block unable to be recovered there by Durham. 10-5. Lords have a 5-point lead and are also 5 points away from the victory in the over the number 5 ranked George Brown Huskies. And the refs have a call here of a net violation against Durham, 10-6. Durham needs to make sure they don't let the Huskies back in this. They need to turn over the service and they need to do it now.
Can't be making errors like that at the net, John. You can't be touching the net and getting violations. Just make the Huskies make the mistakes here.
Fafard digs that out, set up there by, and Jansen smashes that down with authority. Unable to get in front of that one at all was Sorote. 11-6, 5-point lead, and Lucas Pitchell with the serve.
Eric Jansen, a rally killer for the Huskies, hammering that ball down.
And a lift called there on the George Brown Huskies. That's going to be a point for Durham, getting ever closer to this victory, this comeback victory here. Can they get it done? Lucas Pitchell has the ball in his hands. Serves it, and it goes long, left there by Dart Jackman. Turns the ball over. It's 12-7, a 5-point game for the Durham Lords.
The Lords gonna get the ball back eventually here, or certainly they hope they are, and then they're gonna have a real opportunity on serve to win it. But first things first, you gotta keep that 1 point of a time mentality, and they gotta stop this service for the Browns, or for the Huskies, George Brown.
The Lords block it nicely there. Dart Jackman sets it up. Another great block there by the Lords. Set up for Dart. Dart sends it right to Langley. Set up by Farfad. Jansen sends it long. It is 12-8 as the Huskies try to claw back into this one.
Such a tough play there for Jensen, trying to spike that ball from way back in the backcourt.
Gameson with the serve and got way underneath it, and he knew as soon as he let it go was Tyler Kraby letting George Brown back in this one. Timeout will be called by Coach Matsuzaka. 12-9. It's a 3-point game.
I think that's an excellent timeout there by Coach, just slowing things down here. You still have control of this set. You have control of the match. You're the home team. You're the underdog coming into this game. All the pressure's on the Huskies. And Coach just calls the timeout, gets everybody to relax, take a breath. He's still got his other timeout if he wants to call it. So there's lots of time here for the Lords to really find a way to get this game going and win this match. But they have to slow down this Huskies team, and they have to find a way to get served back.
I completely agree with you, Joey, as we have just under 10 seconds left in this timeout as both teams come out. And Game Sawan set to have the serve here. You got to find any way to get this service back and try and serve for victory. Game Sawan gets it up right to Fafard, who sends it over. Dug out by Fafard, and I do not know what he was doing there, but Spencer Edwards under the net onto the other side of the court and tries to keep it in bounds.
Going full send there was Edwards. I know he almost ran into Garrett May, the coach of the Huskies, but got to respect the hustle. But all of a sudden, Johnny, this lead's been cut to 2.
Fafard digs it out, set up by Langley. and Woods puts that right down to the ground, gets the point, gets the serve, 2 points away from victory here, and we've got Tyler Kraby with the ball in his hands.
Langley came into this game with 211 sets on the year, none bigger than that one there.
Langley gets it in,
Foot violation.
but they're going to call him over the line.
Wow. That's
and
a
it will be
break.
a point. Must be, yes, it will be a point for the Huskies. It is a 2-point game. It is 13-11, and we have the last timeout called here. I do not know who that was by.
It has to be the Lords, Johnny. The Huskies ran out of their timeouts early. And
Coach Matsuzaka must not be happy with that violation. He got too close to the line. I've honestly thought they've gotten a little close to the line a few times tonight, but this is the first time they've been called.
It has. It's the first time we've seen it for either team called. We didn't see it at all in the first game of the night. It's not a call you see a lot at this level. Players are very much used to and know where they have to be. And you see it a lot, especially in the men's game, John. Players don't even get close to that line. They serve from 4 or 5 feet back so they can put more power on it. And that's the first time of the night either team's been called on it. And that's a really, really bad time to be taking a line violation on a serve there, as the Lords only lead by 2 here in this 4th or 5th and final set.
George Brown serves right at Jensen again. Set up there by Langley to Edwards. Edwards gets it over. Right to Dart Jackman. Set up by Langley. Woods with the huge smash. Saved there by the Huskies. Dart Jackman gets it. Dug out there by Langley. And they're going to send it over with Jensen. Jackman gets it. Sets up for the spike. A huge block there and inbounds. It's 14-11. Great job there by Spencer Edwards. Gets up, gets the point, and the Lords will serve for victory here, Joey.
Absolutely huge block there by Spencer Edwards, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Edwards quick to the serve here. Dug out by Fafard, sent over by Wood, and that's the victory, Joey! The Lords do it. They come back they have amazing fashion here, losing the 3rd set, taking their top 2 players out of the game, coming back and winning the 4th and 5th final sets. What a great job there by the Lords. Great fight back.
A huge win for the Durham Lords, John. It looked like it could have been a long night the way it started, losing that first set 20-25, but they remained resilient. They didn't step away from their game plan, and they played hard all night long and come away with a huge victory over the number 5 ranked team in the province.
And the Lords female or women's volleyball team is chirping the George Brown Huskies hard.
And a good night here all around at the Campus Wellness Recreation Center, John.
Sweep of the night.
Yeah.
Great job there by Durham. Both teams coming with the victory. Straight sets for the women, 5 sets for the men, and we will see you guys tomorrow night for a doubleheader of basketball as Centennial comes into town. Me and Joey will chat with you then. It was a 15-11 victory for the Durham Lords in the 5th set. Thanks for listening.